Just a quick apology to our members and supporters who are on live streaming at the moment. Just been doing our preparation, just got here a bit late.
Real good. Yep. What happened at the meeting, Matt? The meeting that went overtime, anything exciting come out of the meeting?
I didn't go overtime, just started a little bit later. The boys were still doing their recovery, part of our morning schedule, but just doing our due diligence, mate, and reviewing ourselves first and foremost, and then tackling the Swans a little bit as well.
What did you learn about the Swans and covering in that meeting?
Just that they're an elite team, and obviously they're the reigning premiers for a reason, and just broke down a bit of their ball movement and hopefully how we can try and counteract that.
They're a little undermanned, obviously they've had a lot of injuries. A team like Sydney, though, has overcome a fair bit of that sort of stuff in the past. Did you talk about their resilience?
I think it speaks for itself. You can't write Sydney off. You do that at your own peril. So we'll have a strong focus, on ourselves and how we'll go into the game. And once again, it'll be all about our effort.
How much nerves will you have, say, a few hours before you run out to Patterson Stadium? When you wake up Saturday morning knowing this is the biggest thing that you've been involved with?
I'm really excited. Yeah, I think nerves are healthy. A healthy amount of nerves is fine. We know that throughout the week and throughout the whole year we've been working on our preparation and our routines down pat, so it's just going to be another game in that sense. Throughout this week we haven't done anything different. We haven't had to reinvent the wheel as it was. We've just been focusing on what we know we do well, and that's prepare for each week, both mentally and physically.
What does 100 games mean to you personally?
Yeah, it's memorable, and it's probably something I'll look back on maybe when it's all said and done and be pretty proud of that. But we've got bigger fish to fry at this stage, and it's all about the team this week.
You might not be aware of some of your own personal stats in terms of changes that have happened under Ross Lyon. You've upped your disposal average by 4, your tackle average by 2, and you've kicked a lot more goals. What's been key to your game under Ross Lyon, and how have you taken it to another level?
Probably just understanding my role in the team, a bit more specifically, and where that fits in, and how I can complement the side as well, and through playing a few different roles, it's probably helped me as well with a bit of flexibility.
Is it a maturity thing as well?
I think that's as evolution states, you're going to get better and a bit wiser as you go along, and I'm learning things still as I go, and it's just great to be able to play so many games. Firstly under halves, who gave me an opportunity, which I'm very grateful for, and now under Ross, I'm learning a lot more about the game.
So has your role been more clearly defined? What are the changes in terms of role that you've played over time?
I've just had to probably step into the midfield a little bit more here and there as well, but then also just a different type of forward structure under Ross.
Matt, are you enjoying the hype and the fans being at training and the whole city of Fremantle turning purple?
Yeah, it's great for our fans, and supporters. Everyone's sort of getting on board. I think we're even converting a few of the Eagles supporters over as well. It's good for WA football, but at the end of the day, we know what they want most is us to prepare the way we have been doing all year. So, seeing them down at training was great, but we were 100% focused on the task at hand.
Are you trying to take it in, or are you trying to block it out? How do you handle it?
Yeah, probably just trying to block it out, to be honest. As I said before, it's all about our preparation, and they haven't been here every week, even though they'd probably like to be, our fans. But so they're not here every week. We know what gets the job done, and that's training well, and hopefully that'll translate into playing well.
Matt, do you believe you've got a bit of a home ground advantage? Do you think it'll be the fans that might get you over the line?
Yeah, we love the Purple Army. They're very, very vocal. But in terms of the ground, we know Sydney like coming and playing here. They're a very hard-running side, so it won't hold any fears for them. It'll just be a very hectic start to the game, and we'll know we'll have to be on our game.
Your red-hot favourites. What does that mean for you guys? Red-hot favourites.
Oh, it means nothing. They're the reigning premiers, and people have written them off before. At their peril, as I said before. So we'll have to be hot in our game early and have a strong game plan ready to take them down.
Do you think you deserve to be red-hot favourites?
Oh, I think the past counts for nothing, to be honest. They're going to come over, with an attitude solely to beat us, and we've got the same thing on our side. So whether the past speaks for nothing and the favouritism doesn't bother us.
Matty, from the outside, it looks like you've developed a really strong, tight team bond this year. How much of a part does that play to where you are now in the final?
Yeah, I think there's significant unity in the team, and there's a lot of trust being built from player to player, player to coach, coach to player, and that's been significant, throughout the year. And as we've evolved and tinkered with the game plan and built that chemistry within each other, it's definitely helpful.
And just one on Sydney, look at their playing list. Who's one player that stands out for you, whether it's someone that you really admire or there one player for Sydney that you can sort of look at?
Probably Joe McVeigh. He's obviously been in, ripper form, but just the way he goes about it as well. And him, Kieran Jack, Dan Hanbury, a few other names that spring to mind.
How much a role has Brett Kirk played in your meetings in the last couple?
Yeah, he's obviously got some more intricate knowledge of them, and he's helped feed that through to the boys. And obviously their game plan's changed a little bit since he's been there, but in terms of knowing the players a little bit, it's definitely been helpful.
Who was your match-up in round 8, and what do you remember about the draw that night?
I played on a few different players, that night. I was playing up forward and then a little bit in the midfield. Was on McVeigh at certain points, and definitely learned a lot off him, and we'll hopefully use that knowledge going into this game.
We've heard a lot about sort of how Ryan Crowley prepares. If you get a job on a Malcheski or a McVeigh, how much time do you put into studying them, figuring out how they play?
Yeah, so I'll work in with Peter Sumich pretty heavily and make sure I analyse their game, both statistically and then vision as well, and make sure I get a good grasp on how to go about playing on them, yeah.
Nat Fyfe mentioned last week he had discussions with Luke McFarlane about 2006. You've got about half a dozen guys who played in the last prelim final. Have those guys been vocal at all this week about that experience?
Not too much, to be honest. I mean, I was still in high school, so was Fyfey, but yeah, no, they've got that experience on their side, but obviously the game's changed heaps since then, and we'll be able to know what we know now, which is our game plan and the way we go about it, and hopefully and use that to our advantage, because obviously the teams are significantly different from 2006.
You've stepped up the last couple of years sort of in finals, big games in the MCG. Do you think you're becoming sort of a big game team?
Yeah, our motto's been anywhere and any time, so and that falls perfectly into that category. It doesn't matter where we could play here at South Fremantle and dish up the same sort of effort which we would on the MCG or Subiaco Oval, and that's what we pride ourselves and staying in the next moment.
Do you have to block out sort of the crowd and the occasion at all?
Oh, not at all. It's pretty, obviously your head's in the game and you don't take too much notice of what's going on around the game. But I saw the Mexican wave a few weeks ago. But apart from that, we're very focused on the game and focusing on what's next and the very next contest.
And how much, I suppose, faith does Ross's experience with sort of prelim finals decide?
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously very experienced. He's been there before, and that's helped. But as I keep saying, it's just another game, and we've approached the Swans no differently to we have, through any other team throughout the year. We've broken them down. We've, stated to the group how we're going to go about it, and then at the end of the day, it's going to come back to our effort and executing on our role.
And you overlooked first in the national draft. A lot of things would have been going through your head, but at that point, did you think you'd play 100 games and play 100 games in a prelim final?
No, not at all. It seems like a long time ago, and I couldn't be happier of how it's worked out and found my home here in Fremantle.
Matt, you said you're in high school in 06. Were you barracking for Freo?
I was just a passionate football supporter back then.
Is that a yes or a no?
No comment. Thanks, guys.